Hi there, welcome to Two Birds. I'm Fiona and welcome to the beautiful Wilson's Promontory National Park, one of my favourite places to camp and hike and surf, so I'm down here for a few days. And today's class is a 30-minute yoga conditioning class. It's part 2 of the Strong Body, Calm Mind series, and all you'll need for practice is a block. I hope you enjoy the view. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. And begin your practice in a child's pose at the back of your mat. Knees can be placed wide or narrow, big toes to touch. Walking your arms forward, resting your forearms and your forehead to the floor. Take the next minute here to settle and rest easy. Invite your shoulders to slump, your jaw to loosen, and your belly to soften so your breath can naturally fall into it. Letting the mat carry the weight of your body. And attending to any other obvious physical tension or gripping with an intentional exhale. And oftentimes this simple invitation to sigh out physical holding can begin to unravel some of the mental momentum from which it was born. So you can just signal to your body that you can start your practice from a calm, clear space. Sense the gentle expansion of your breath across the dome of your back. And encourage yourself to breathe slow enough so you can feel the detail of each breath, how your breath responds in this shape. And before we flow, know that this is your rest pose. You're welcome to return here anytime during the practice, anytime you may need to take rest or do less. Join back in the flow whenever you're ready. And gently walking your hands back in toward you now, let your hips spill out to one side. Grab your block if you have one and make your way down onto your back. Placing your feet to the floor, knees bent, and then take your hands interlaced behind the back of your head. I'm going to start by working into the obliques and lower abdominals through the next few sequences. On your next exhale, raise your head and shoulders from the floor. Keep your elbows wide. Take a smooth breath in. And on your exhale, lift your right knee and twist to your right. Inhale back to center, right foot to the floor. And then exhale, reach your left hand for your left foot. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left knee lifts, twist to your left. Inhale, center, foot to the floor. And exhale, reach your right hand for your right foot. 5 more, lift, twist to your right, foot to the floor, and reach your left hand for your left foot. Come back to center, exhale, lift, and twist to your left, foot to the floor, right hand to your right foot. 4 more, concentrate on keeping your inner elbows wide, and squeezing your sideways obliques as you reach. You can pick up the pace if you're feeling coordinated. Last 2. And then as you're ready, release your head and shoulders back down. Take a quiet moment to pause and rest. Arms alongside your body. Now if you had your block, take it into your hands on its wide side and then reach your arms overhead. Bring your feet together, the knees bent, and squeeze your inner thighs and knees together. Now extend just your right leg out straight to 45 degrees. On your inhale, on your back, and on your exhale, curl up and reach the block for your right foot. And then on your inhale, peel slowly back down, take your arms back overhead. So try not to plop, you're trying to C-curve your spine, slow and controlled, curl up, reach for your foot. Exhale slowly down, arms overhead. 4 more. Exhale to lift and reach. Inhale to peel back down. Exhale, lift and reach. And come all the way back down. Last 2. Just lifting up as high as you can if you're nowhere near your foot there. And keep the block overhead. Just switch the legs straight over to the other side. Squeeze your thighs, left leg extends. On your exhale, lift and reach. Inhale, carefully back down. 5 more, lift and reach. Arms overhead. Lift and reach. Arms overhead, last 3. Last 1. And rest. Release the block to one side. Take your feet wide. Let your knees knock in. Arms alongside your body. And emphasize your exhales to clear and make space for each new breath coming in. Aerating your lungs. And allowing your breath to return to a smoother cadence. Now gather the knees in toward your chest, give yourself a squeeze, and then release just your right foot to the floor, preparing for a bridge variation. So tuck your right heel quite close in toward your buttocks. An option here with your arms, you can either wrap your fingers around the side edges of your mat so you've got something to hold on to. You can take your arms wider than your shoulders, palms down to your sides, or you can interlace your hands under your buttocks. If that's available to you, it's a little bit more challenging. So as you lift now into your 1 foot bridge, nestle your shoulder blades in toward your spine and then push down where you touch down with the mat. Extend your left leg up toward the ceiling, point or flex your toes, keeping your hips lifted. Lower your left leg in line with your right knee and then draw a large semicircle out to your left and then back to center. We've just got 3 more. Lower, circle to your left and lift. 2 more. Concentrate on keeping your hips level and your right hip stationary and lifting. Circle back in the opposite direction. Starting to mobilize your hip, waking up the inner thighs. Come back to center. Take your foot to the floor and give a little squeeze and lift to your hips. And then lower all the way back down. Changing sides, left foot to the floor, close to your buttocks. Narrow your shoulder blades in toward your spine. And then on your inhale, lifting up into your bridge. So the back of your arms, back of your skull, left heel pressing down. Extend your right leg up toward the ceiling, then slow and controlled, lower your right leg, circle out to your right, and then back through center. 3 more. Circle back, 4 in total on this side. Back through center, re-bend your right knee, take your foot to the floor, give a little pulse and a lift to your hips, and then lower all the way down onto your back. And then as you're ready, coming into happy baby pose, hands to the outer edges of your feet. Bend the knees, draw your knees in toward your armpits, and then smooth and press your low back into the mat. Breathe a slower, calm breath in and a measured breath out. Take 3 more breaths here. Unhinging your jaw, and inviting the front of your neck, back of your shoulders to relax. And releasing now. We're going to make our way onto all fours. Getting situated, spacing your fingers wide under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Then take a few rounds of cat and cow with the beat of your own breath's rhythm. And inviting the expansion of the movement to deepen your breath. Just meet me in a neutral spine. Feel your hands into your mat and step your feet just a little wider than your hips. Tuck your toes and hover your knees, coming into bear pose. Hips stationed over the knees, shoulders over your wrists. So you can do this sequence with the knees down if it gets too strong for you. We're going to try and balance, taking your right hand now to the back of your head. On an inhale, point your right elbow up toward the ceiling, and exhale, aim your right elbow down toward the floor for a bit of a twist there in the thoracic spine. 4 more, inhale, exhale. Try keeping the shins and parallel with the floor without tick-tocking through the hips too much. So just isolating the middle spine in your twist. And then release, right hand to the floor, knees to the floor, buttocks to your heels, child's pose. Take a full cycle of breath. And then on your inhale, we'll glide up onto all fours. Tuck your toes, your feet a little wider than your hips. Hover the knees a few inches from the floor and switching sides. Left hand to the back of your head. Moving slow, we have 5. Lifting, elbow up. Exhale, point the elbow down. Last 2. Reach the left elbow up. And then release, knees to the floor, hand back to the floor, and returning to your child's pose. As you rest back, invite your forearms to rest, your shoulders to slump and relax, and then just take a few steady breaths in and out. And keeping your forearms touching down, and your elbows and your thumbs shoulder width apart, lift your hips and step out into a forearm plank pose. So legs long and engaged, or knees resting on a diagonal from your hips if you'd like to modify. Then actively swallow your low belly in and up, same time, add a light tuck to your tailbone. And we're here for a brief 30 seconds. Concentrate on breathing an equal breath in, equal breath out. Nearly there. Keep pushing the floor away. And now place a bend in the knees, coming into dolphin prep. Walk your feet toward you, raise your hips, so downward facing dog on the forearms. And release your head heavy. Bring some lightness and buoyancy to your shape, pressing the floor away. Take 2 more breaths. Next, inhale, looking forward. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, spring to plank pose. Straighten your arms, shoulders over the wrists. And of course, knees down to modify, or straight legs. 3 push-ups here. Lower halfway and lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Next, exhale, lower and hold in your chaturanga. 3 breaths. Press back, strong plank. And then downward facing dog. Well done. Here to transition, we'll take the heat out of our wrists. Gaze forward, bend the knees, and travel lightly to the top of your mat. Open up halfway on your inhale. Fold and release. And you can either stay here or slip the palms of your hands under the soles of your feet for gorilla arms. And if you're taking that option, lightly tipping your weight forward into your hands as you resist, with your feet lengthening into the back of your wrists. And alternatively, let your arms dangle or hold opposite elbows. Nice generous bend in the knees. And then stepping off your hands now, and as you're ready, we'll take a gentle roll up through your spine. Make your way to stand. And then bring your prayer hands to your heart. Next sequence, you'll need a block or a book if you have one, placing it close by top of your mat. Standing your feet hips width apart, top of the mat. On an inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Pause here, grab your block and step your right foot onto the block. And with your fingertips on the floor, to hold you steady, lunge your left foot back for low lunge. Tap your left knee down to the floor. So keep your left toes tucked and just make sure that your feet are staggered, hips width apart. Then take your arms out wide into a T, bring yourself upright. So we're going to move slow with your breath. On an inhale now, work towards standing, straightening your left leg, coming into a high lunge on the block. And then as you breathe out, lower and tap your left knee to the floor. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And if that's going well, take your arms overhead, catch opposite elbows. Inhale to lift. Exhale and lower. Last 2. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And release your left knee to the floor, hands to your mat. And dismount from the block, take the block to one side, reframe your right foot. When you're ready, low lunge on the fingertips, curl your heart up, take a breath. On your exhale, we'll twist. Left hand stays down, reach your right arm up toward the sky. And then float your right arm back at shoulder height, reaching it back. We'll flow with the breath, take a breath in. Exhale, semicircle your right arm forward and work towards straightening your right leg as you reach forward. Alternating between the 2, inhale, right arm reaches back, lunge your right knee. Exhale, return to your half splits, right leg straightens. Once more, inhale, reach your arm back and lunge. Exhale into the half splits, and here we'll pause. You can place the right hand down, flex your right toes, and digging your right heel into the mat and create that feeling you're dragging your heel back. Feeling your hamstrings engage as you lengthen. And then re-lunge your right knee, frame out your foot, and step back to plank pose and pause here. So there's a few options here. You can stay on your hands or come onto your forearms for this sequence if that feels best. Go ahead, raise your right foot a few inches from the floor, toes flexed, low belly engaged. Take a breath in. Exhale, steer your right knee toward your chest, core lunge. Inhale, send your right leg straight back. And on your exhale now, sweep the right leg a little out to the right, should feel your glutes working. Come back to center. Exhale, core lunge. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right leg out to the right. We have 4 more. Stay with me. If you'd like to modify, left knee to the floor. You can pick up the pace. Just try and keep the movement fairly controlled. Last one. And release. Knees to the floor, buttocks to your heels, and rest in child's pose. So in the next sequence when we return to that, just trying to hold your body parallel with the floor. Modify if you feel like you're not holding that integrity. And here we're working our outer hips, our core and our upper body. Move over to the second side, gliding up onto all fours. Exhale, downward facing dog to transition. As you arrive, bend your knees, look forward, and then travel lightly to the top of your mat. Open your heart forward on your inhale. Exhale and fold over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way to stand, gaze up, spot your thumbs. Exhale, Tadasana. Second side, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Pause here, take a moment to place the block under your left foot now. And then lunge your right foot back into low lunge, right knee to the floor with your toes tucked. Arms reach wide into a T and then bring yourself upright. So just getting steady, your foot and your shin are hips width apart. We're going to move slow with the breath. Inhale, standing into your high lunge, lift the right knee. Exhale, lower and tap the right knee to the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep going. As you have the knee down, you might like to take your arms overhead. Last 3. Right knee to the floor, hands to your mat, and you block to one side. Return to low lunge on your fingertips. So just feeling that groundedness through your right foot. Curl your heart up, take a breath, and then exhale, twist. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Then the left arm reaches back at shoulder height. Take a breath in. Exhale, semicircle your left arm forward, work towards straightening your left leg any amount. And then twice more. Inhale, left arm back, re-lunge. Exhale into the half splits. Once more, inhale. And exhale, pause in your half splits, left leg straight, fingers to the floor. Taking a few calm, slow breaths. Re-lunge your left knee, frame out your foot and step back to plank pose. Pause there. Moving into our combo, and of course to modify, right knee to the floor if you need that support. Left foot lifts. Shore up your plank in this uneven variation. Take a breath in. Exhale, core lunge. Inhale, extend, and then exhale, left leg out to your left. Come back to center. Exhale, core lunge. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left leg out to the left. 4 more. When you've completed your set, land your knee to the floor and press back to a child's pose. That one's strong. As you go this time, press your palms ahead of you and then take your prayer hands to the nape of your neck, walking your elbows forward and lengthening into the undercarriage of your arms. Resting breaths now, belly soft, your jaw and shoulders relaxed. Now make your way up onto all fours and just carefully lower down onto your belly. So you're going to work into some shoulder and back body strengthening now before we cool down. If you have a block, taking it now into your hands and reaching your arms forward into Superman arms for a locust variation. If you don't have a block, just moving along in the same direction. On your inhale now, lifting into locust pose, raise your arms, chest and legs, eyes toward the floor. Stay lifted here, take the block into your left hand, reach both arms back, pass the block to your right hand, and then return to Superman arms. Again, switch sides, block into your right hand, arms sweep back, pass the block to your left hand, arms reach forward, keep lifting once more each side. Block into the left hand, pass the block, arms reach forward, block into the right hand, sweep the arms back, pass the block, arms forward, and rest, forehead to the floor. Rest or collapse, whatever feels appropriate there. You can let go of the block now and we'll make a pillow with your hands, just bending the elbows out to the side and rest your forehead into your hands. Let your belly expand into the mat with your breath. So we're going to raise just your legs now and bend your knees and then take your big toes together. So with the thighs raised, toes touching, take little pulses here, lifting with your exhales. Keep your head lowered, back of your neck resting. Little pulses, glutes and hamstrings working here. You are nearly done. And then release, extend the legs out long. And cooling down now and stretching out, just remaining prone on your belly, bending your knees, thighs touching down. Just sway your legs left and over to the right, loosening into your low back spine. Come back to center, transitioning into a prone shoulder stretch. Legs out long, reach your arms out to a T shape at shoulder height, and then bend just your right elbow, tent the fingers, roll gently onto your left hip. As you roll onto the left hip, you might feel that lengthening sensation into the front of the left shoulder. For more sensation, you can bend your right knee and step your toes behind you. Just notice how your breath responds in the shape, bringing a calmer, more relaxed quality to your effort now. And then changing sides, rolling onto your right hip. Pause and breathe here, slow and steady. Your head can relax. Try not to keep it hovering. And then rolling back to center, press slowly back into a child's pose, buttocks to your heels. And then slowly easing your way upright, we'll make our way down onto our backs for a final hip flexor stretch. Grab your block, or you could use a folded blanket here and any additional layers you might like as you recline. Taking your feet to the floor, knees bent. Lift your buttocks, place your block under your buttocks on its flat side, or wedge your blanket in place there. Then rest and arrange your upper body straight. Hug your right knee in toward your chest. Extend your left leg out long. Rest your heel to the mat. Take 3 steady breaths. And switching sides. And then rebend both your knees, feet to the floor, lift your buttocks, slip the prop out from under you. And we'll take a brief and quiet shavasana here to conclude practice, aiming to return your nervous system to a state of rest and calm. Laying back, taking up the space around you, palms up. And if you've got a sigh, letting that go now. Relaxing the weight of your body into the support of your mat, gently closing your eyes. And I'll be back in a minute or so to guide you back. And then start to breathe a deeper breath, waking your body up with your breath. And then bending your knees as you're ready, feet to the floor, transitioning over to your right side. Take one last rest here. And then drag your way back up to sit. I hope you feel great for making the effort with this practice today. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.